All right, let's talk about something we've all been through, the team presentation. Sometimes they can be a little painful. Today, we are going to break down the 5 biggest mistakes that teams make, and more importantly, give you some really clear, simple fixes to turn that group project from a cringy experience into a super polished, professional win.
I mean, you know the one, right? Where the slides are all over the place, the speakers seem like they literally just met 5 minutes ago, and everyone's just kind of reading off their notes. It's awkward for them, and it's definitely painful for the audience. But here's the good news. It really doesn't have to be that way.
And this is why it all matters so much. Nailing a team presentation isn't just about getting a good grade for an assignment. No way. It's about building one of the most in-demand skills in the entire professional world. What you're doing here is a direct preview of what employers are desperately looking for.
So, why do so many of these things go off the rails? Well, here's the secret. The biggest mistakes almost always happen long before anyone even thinks about standing up to speak. It all starts right at the beginning.
To really get to the bottom of this, we're going to follow the entire life cycle of a team project. We'll start at the very beginning in the planning phase, then we'll move through the creation stage, and we'll finish up with the final performance, pointing out the major pitfalls every step of the way, and of course, how to dodge them.
Okay, let's dive into the planning phase. This is where the foundation for either success or, total failure is laid. Getting this part right is absolutely critical.
The first mistake, and you could argue it's the biggest one of all, is forgetting to ask the most important question there is. Who are we actually talking to? It sounds like public speaking 101, I know, but you'd be shocked how many teams build an entire presentation without a clear picture of who their audience is.
And check this out, it makes a huge difference. Presenting to your professor, they already have all the background context. But a client, they need you to solve their problem, and they're starting from zero. Your audience dictates everything. Your content, the language you use, even the questions you should be ready for.
All right, the second big planning pitfall, and this one is a classic. It's when the team presentation turns into a 1 or 2-person show. We've all seen it happen, right? A couple of people do all the heavy lifting while everyone else just kind of coasts.
And that just completely misses the point of a team presentation. It has to be a collaborative effort from start to finish. Why? Because you're trying to show that the whole group has expertise on the topic. Plus, and this is a big one, you need all hands on deck for the Q&A, ready to handle any question that gets thrown your way.
Okay, so you've got some shaky planning. Now let's see how that mess spills over into the creation phase. This is where your ideas start to take visual form, and it's also where a lack of teamwork becomes painfully obvious. I mean, seriously, just look at this slide. This visual chaos is the #1 sign of a disconnected team. When every single person designs their own slides in a bubble, you get this, a total mess of clashing fonts, weird colors, and jumbled content. It basically screams, we did not talk to each other. So how do you fix this visual nightmare? It's actually pretty simple. First, collaborate. Use a shared tool like Google Slides so everybody's working in the same document. Then, consolidate your content. And finally, assign 1 or 2 people to be the design lead. Their only job is to make sure the entire deck has one clean, professional, and consistent look.
All right, so you've planned everything out. You've created a beautiful, cohesive slide deck. You're home free, right? Well, not so fast. The final hurdle is the performance itself. And this is where even the best laid plans can fall apart. Let me be super clear about this one. This is non-negotiable. Skipping a full run-through with the entire team is just a recipe for disaster, especially if you're presenting online. Practice is where you iron out all the kinks. You test the tech, you smooth out the handoffs between speakers, and you make sure you actually hit your time limit. You should think of it like a pre-flight checklist. Does everyone's microphone and camera work? Who was sharing the screen and advancing the slides? Are the transitions between speakers clunky or smooth? Does the whole thing fit in the time you're given? And have you planned who's tackling what kind of question in the Q&A? One mandatory practice session makes all the difference. And our final mistake. This one's a little sneaky, but it can totally derail everything at the last minute. It's failing to show up truly presentation ready. And this goes way beyond just knowing your part. It's about managing all the little logistics of the day, which, if you get it wrong, can cause a ton of stress for your teammates. So what does being presentation ready actually mean? It means the team has an agreement.
It means everyone shows up early, whether it's online or in person. You know exactly who's controlling the slides. You've coordinated your outfits and your virtual backgrounds so you look like a unified team. And, this is so important, you have a backup plan in case the team member gets sick or their internet goes out.
So, you've dodged all these bullets. You've collaborated, you've created a great deck, you've practiced. What's the real reward here? Well, it's so much bigger than just this one project.
Because here's the thing. Every single time you deliver a polished, professional team presentation, you are actively building your own personal brand. You're showing people not just what you know about a topic, but that you can collaborate, communicate clearly, and deliver high-quality work under pressure.
And I'm talking about real, tangible assets for your career. A recording of a great presentation can be a key piece in your portfolio. The challenges your team overcame, those become powerful stories you can tell in job interviews. You're not just finishing an assignment. You are literally creating proof of your most valuable skills. So, as you head into your next group project, I want you to think about this. Which one of these fixes will you focus on first? Will it be digging deeper into who your audience is? Or maybe committing to a truly collaborative slide design? Or how about scheduling that one non-negotiable practice session? Just focusing on one of these can absolutely elevate your entire team's performance. Thanks for tuning in.